Zoe is a series of tools where you can easily build and create immersive experiences without needing to code. It's cross-platform, and it has been used in the more like entertainment gaming industry, and now is primarily used in the education space. I know that in the audience we have some educators, we have universities, labs, and we also have a few of you who have invested in our company. So I'm quickly going to mention that, and Maria's going to share the link in the chat. Is we're currently raising money on a platform called Start Engine, and that platform allows anyone to basically invest in the company, get licenses, join the team. So it's been really exciting to. We actually have, a bunch of educators who invested in the company here. So I know some of you are investors, some of you are just users. So welcome. For those who invested, thank you. We really appreciate the support, and we're excited to get this platform going with all of you. I'm going to start with sharing just edit of content that people have built with Zoe thus far, and then we'll go into more details. So as you can see, there's a wide variety of types of experiences that are being built, and it ranges from a 13-year-old in high school building, content at a workshop in a few days, from more professional work done with Unity. So we have two different software. We have the Zoe app, and the Zoe app is a standalone application that works on any of the VR headset, and also the standalone ones like the Oculus Quest, and we are going to show you today as well the brand new mobile version. And these two will actually work together at one point. So if you're creating something in VR, you'll be able to play and edit it on mobile as well, and vice versa. And the second software is a plugin for the Unity game engine, and this one makes the Unity engine very easy to use for virtual reality development. So it's a few clicks to get it set up. It works also across headset. Maria is going to go into more details on the plugin afterwards. And so it caters more to those who actually want to go more professional, want to go into Unity. We also have a collaboration with Unity on Unity Learn, where you have Zoe lessons in there. You can also customize the plugin. So if students or creators know how to code, they can code in things in there as well. But I'm not going to go into the details right now. For the VR app, I'm just going to tell you about this, and then Maria is going to do the demo. So there's a bunch of different features in there. You have a local library that doesn't require internet, so you can actually use the app without internet for this and build things. There's online libraries. Currently, we're connected to Sketchfab. There's a visual programming interface where you can program what's going to happen in your experience. You can play and create directly at the same time in the app. Maria is going to show you that. And soon you'll be able to host and join sessions from the headset and mobile to collaborate on creation and from anywhere. So Maria, I'm going to leave it up to you now to talk about
Sure.
the app.
So before you switch, so yeah, I'm gonna first show you how it works on virtual reality. It is gonna be a video, but it's real time, so hopefully you really get the sense of how it looks like in the headset. So please, Emily. So here we have one of our demo scenes, which is called Underwater, and it's basically an environment that becomes alive. And here we are playing, so living the experience already. And now if I wanna edit, so I don't know if you saw a bit fast, I clicked on the stop button and then I can edit my scene. So I can add assets. Here I'm in the local library and I can browse the library and let's find, for example, another coral. There's a 3D miniature that appears and I just take it and place it wherever I want. I can scale it up and rotate it. And I'm basically snapping it on the ground in the position that I want. Now I want to add another fish, for example, so I can also search for assets in any of the libraries. So I look for fish and I have a few fish available. I can take the number 2 and it already has an idle animation. So it already looks alive. And that's basically how this scene has been built. Very, very simple with animals rotating around and some basic animation. You can already have a living environment. So now let's go and check another scene, which is also embedded in the app when you download it or install it. This is a series of exercises that we have and we offer for a user to get familiarized with Zoe and with the programming system. So we're going to do one of the exercises here, which is to show the nice job text that you can see and to show it only when we place the tomatoes inside the basket that you can see. So now I haven't done anything. If I hit play, I can already use like grab the tomatoes. This setting is already been done. They have gravity, but as you can see, the text is there from the beginning. So no matter if I put all the tomatoes in the basket, there's nothing that's telling the system to act on the text. So now if we check the interactions, what I need to do is to create a new one. And I'm just gonna call it, let's say, all tomatoes in. So I'm gonna check when all the tomatoes are gonna be put in the basket. And to start, let's hide the texts. So there's already an interaction hiding several texts and labels in the scene. And I can just add a new action that is going to hide the bubble at the beginning, so the nice job text. And now the new interaction, the way I'm setting it up is that I add a condition, the collision condition. So I'm going to check when all tomatoes, so I have to add all of the tomatoes to the list as well as the basket. And I enable to require all because I'm going to check when all of them are colliding. And finally, I just have to do the opposite of the other interaction, which is show the text bubble. So when I hit play now, I can grab the tomatoes and start putting them in the basket. And now the nice job text appears. So that's really the basic of our programming system. You can see it's very intuitive. Everything is visual. And just the last thing to show you how you can actually change the whole setup of your scene. So we also provide a series of environments that you can choose from. And just with a click, you can load and you create a whole different environment. So there's hills, there's the space, and that also gives you ideas to start from when you are creating one experience. I guess that's it for the VR.
Yeah, cool. And that one side note is we have, I think, a total of 40 actions and conditions in our system. We haven't we're adding them all in the apps one after the other. So there's going to be tons of options to like build content and create interactivity in the app itself.
Yeah, sure. So basically, because our standalone application is based on the plugin of Unity. So yeah. So here's how the interface on mobile looks like. You basically find again the same functionalities. You have the play button on the top right. You have the transform options for the assets on the bottom right, and then on the left you can see the main menu. You have the same library that you can scroll and browse like in VR. Let's, for example, instantiate one asset, the apple, and this is just a bit different because there's no miniature. We basically hold on the thumbnail and we directly drag the object inside the scene. There's the interaction list, there's the different scenes, and the scene setup that I just showed you in VR. What changes, of course, is the navigation. So we designed the application to work specifically for touch screens. So let me show you how we move actually in the application for creating. So for example, for rotating, I just use one finger and it's gonna rotate around like a central point on the ground of the scene. Then in order to move around, so on the sides, left, right, forward or backwards with two fingers and dragging. And then I can also zoom in or zoom out with by pinching with my fingers. So we really are using very intuitive and basic gestures. And in play mode, it's more or less like any video game where you use the left joystick to move around, and then the right one to actually rotate the view of the camera. Now let's check how to place the assets, because yeah, that's also a great challenge for 2D screens. Basically, whenever you choose one of the models in the scene, you have the options that appear on the right. You can move them, so you have arrows on the different axes and you move however you want. You can also rotate. It's also per axis, of course, and you can be quite precise. There are some snapping, some angles that snap. I think it's 10 degrees, for example, for rotation. You can also scale your object up and down, either at a uniform scale or also by axis. Like in VR, the way I place the coral, for example, you also have here a function which is snap to surface. So that allows to properly place the assets on the ground or on top of any other object. So basically to stack objects around, this is the way to go. And now let's switch also to the basic demo scene that we provide in the app. And I'm going to show you just the interactions, how they work here for mobile, because it's also adapted, and some of the conditions are adapted to specifically to mobile. So here there's a different exercise, and it is about showing the fire when we tap on one of the wooden sticks. And so if I hit play, you will see, for starters, that the fire is not visible. And then whatever I do, if I tap on the screen, nothing happens. So if we go to the interactions, we can see the last interaction, hide, plant, and fire, so that we understand that the fire is being hidden at the beginning. So the only thing I have left to do is to create a new interaction. And I want to use the condition of tapping on the wooden stick. So I add the tap condition. I choose the wooden stick, which is the bigger one, and then I choose the fire to be shown as an action. If we, it's
The
a
video
bit
is
dark.
stuck, but I can scroll through it apparently. So I will scroll through it. You get the
Yeah,
idea.
I was wondering if it was my connection.
The
So
end.
basically, when you play, then if you get close to the stick and you tap on the screen, you can see the fire showing up. And so you can see that the system is really the same. The programming system is the same, and you just have specific gestures and conditions for mobile. And that's actually the first glimpse of our beta, which is available if you want to subscribe on our website. You can apply for early access, and you can already create interactive experiences on your smartphone or tablet.
Yeah, you can like scan this, and then we'll just, if you just put webinar in the comments, we'll just give you access probably later today. So if I'll just do this for a few seconds so you have time to check it, but I can put the link also probably in the, I'm actually gonna, like, Maria, can I ask you a question since there's one relevant question now?
Yeah, sure.
So can a world created in the mobile app be viewed, played by a student in VR and vice versa?
Yeah, that will be, so it's not today the case, but I mean, it is. It's just that sharing the scenes, it's not yet the most intuitive and smooth process now, but it is. It's actually the same kind of file type. And our goal is really to make them compatible. Yeah.
I guess the right answer is almost.
It's getting there. Yeah.
It's getting there.
That's the
I mean,
goal.
theoretically, it should work. I think some students have tried and it works. It does work technically, but
Yeah.
okay, I'll ask that one too now since we're in there, and then we'll continue. But are there any plans for alternative teleportation, transportation methods? I noticed some people were sensitive to the movement method in the edit mode.
In edit mode, okay. So for edit mode, we still have to do some research and see what's really working better for people, but definitely for play mode, we are going to provide different locomotion modes. Teleportation can be one of them. So yeah, for now, there's this basic video game style way of navigation, but the goal is actually to provide options. And so the user decides on how it's gonna go in his or her experience.
Anything else about the apps that you want to ask right now? Otherwise, we'll just move probably to the plugin.
The plugin, yeah. Well, in the end, we can also keep answering the questions.
Sounds good. And are you guys seeing like my screen is full of things, and I don't know if you're seeing only the sharing, but Maria, are you seeing only?
Yeah. No, I see the slides. It's cool. Okay.
Sounds good, because I can't see anything actually. So I'll leave it up to you to continue with this. So we're going to take a look at the Unity plugin.
Yeah, so what you saw was what Emily said is the standalone application, both in VR and mobile. And it is, I would say, the most accessible tool that we have. And then for more complex and richer experiences, then we have a whole Unity plugin. And as Emily said previously as well, there's a C# API that we developed, and even developers can actually create new functions and augment the current Zoe plugin. But I'm gonna also show you a quick video about how the plugin works. We don't get into details, but yeah. So if you're familiar with Unity, this is how an empty scene looks like. So you basically have just a camera and a light, and the camera doesn't necessarily work with virtual reality headsets. So Zoe really adds a layer of interactivity. You need to press play again.
I don't know what's going on with this today, but.
So for example, if I want to make the camera interactive, I have a special Zoe menu. I could be working on network projects, but here, let's just convert into an interactive camera, not networked. And when I do this, what it actually does is, as you can see in the inspector, it adds the necessary scripts and creates a specific hierarchy with the camera so that it actually works automatically with any virtual reality headset. And then from that point on is about creating the whole environment and the scene. You can add your models. So really Unity is the limit. Here, I will show you just a quick example. where we're going to make the fork interactable. I convert it into an interactive object. And the first layer of interactivity is the settings of my object. So I can make it that it reacts to gravity and that I can actually manipulate it because it's not the case with any of the objects by default. So now if I play, and I also move here like in a video game, if I try to interact with other objects, well, nothing happens. And then when I take the fork, then I can grab it, I can, release it, and it reacts with physics like a real object. That was a very basic demo that we provide. And here I show you another one, which is a lot more complex. It's about the solar system. So we're basically simulating the solar system. There's a work around scaling and around adapting the time. And you can see all of the planets here are interactive objects, and there's a bunch of interactivity going on. And you'll just see the result actually. So this is how the experience looks like in the end. You actually have the ability to fly around in space, and you have the power to trigger the different revolutions of the planets around the sun. And by doing that, you get useful information around either each of the planet that you are discovering, or the distance between them, or useful information around space. And you really get the sense of distance. And so it was really about a solar system simulation and exploration. And all of these exercises that I showed you are actually part of our Zoe course on the Unity Learn platform. So I really invite you all to check. I'm going to put the link afterwards. And we really go from very basic, like the fork, until to very complex experiences with more realistic rendering and a lot more of interactivity.
Cool. Yeah. I'm going to cut you for questions, I guess, like that. We're doing them at the same time. So which devices can you create with Zoe on? Yeah, so with, I guess you mean with the Unity plugin. So we support. I think it was even before, so any all the apps. So we really support most of the VR headsets that are in the market right now. Mostly we are available on the Quest, but as everything is based on our plugin, and with our plugin we are really supporting Steam VR. We also support the Pico and other headsets, and then so Zoe VR can also be available there. And whatever new headset they come up with. Exactly. So we really try to keep cross-platform and as agnostic as possible. Yeah, for mobile it's iOS, the beta, and Android. We also have an Android version. We just haven't put it for the beta yet, but it's also going to be open, but it's compatible with both. Sure. And then one other question is, can a scene created with a Unity plugin be exported to WebXR and then viewed in a browser? Okay, well, not yet, but it's definitely like web creation. It's on our pipeline. So that's something we haven't still worked on, but definitely. No, for now you can export as a standalone app, basically from Unity, and then I'll talk about this more later, but we're working on a marketplace where you'll be able to publish and export content to all the different devices too. So I'm done with questions now. Okay. Well, that was like what I call the full Zoe stack of tools. And I mean, you heard me talking about layers of interactivity, but I think Zoe also offers different layers of learning, so different learning outcomes at different levels. And so Zoe is really about upskilling and preparing the new generation for the future of jobs, and basically developing most of the 21st century skills. So it ranges from soft skills like
problem solving, creativity, and also about self-management and how I work and how I communicate within a group. But it also, of course, brings skills around, well, the use of the technology itself. So all of what is digital literacy and user experience design, of course, programming. And with technologies like augmented reality, you can also learn about understanding the space and movement. And something that may not be explicit in the slide, but that is explicit from the videos that you could see, is that, of course, depending on the experience, you are learning about a new subject, a new topic every time. So I would say that we offer those different 3 layers of learning, and yeah, that's how Zoe is really a full educational solution.
Yeah, and to expand on that, since we started this as a tool for creators, and then now really focusing on ed tech, and so we're really interested, and that's more for the educators or universities in the webinar, and working on studies around the effectiveness of being a creator versus just being a passive learner. So we already have a few of those in the pipeline, but we're really interested in improving also that, when you're learning by doing, you're gonna, maybe learn better about the XYZ topic. And we're also thinking about, because I'm going to be now talking about the next steps of the platform, like what we're building and what we're thinking of doing, of how we can support educators with like templates and things that are already, easy, and you don't have to start from scratch around different topics, finding the right tools that you would need to work with students and things like that. So it's a good time for anyone to start working with Zoe or joining us, because we're going to be building a ton of stuff, and we really like working with the community on things. So we've done that since the beginning of the platform. So this is our kind of product release roadmap, so what we're doing in the next year. So right now there's mobile early access that's available. All of you here would love to have you guys on this. There's then a quick kind of exercise / survey that you can do at the same time when you get access to the app. It's a pretty cool exercise to do with students as well. Like, they have to go through little exercises, and then they answer a few questions about the UX, the UI. So it's also interesting for them to go through that. And we'd love to get your feedback on that. And then we'll be able to launch the mobile app early next year as a, the fully final version, first version. The next step also is the real-time multi-user collaboration. That's a very important part. We've been working on it for a while. Some of you in the webinar know that, because I've been talking about it since forever. It'll get done. It's going to be cross-platform between mobile and VR, I think, for the first version. Right now we're just focusing on the Quest. So basically you'll be able to create a session, invite anyone in your session, learners, students, and then you'll have some basic kind of hosting functionalities, maybe grouping users together. We'll see if we have that, but muting and enabling creation or not for the learners that you have in your space, in your learning space. The marketplace, I'll talk about it just in the next slide. We are thinking of doing a desktop version of Zoe as well. This will be dependent on how you all enjoy the mobile version and the tablet version, if something on desktop makes sense. So that's something we'll work out with the community as well, but that's something on the pipeline. And then probably at the end of the year, the augmented reality version. So mobile AR, but also obviously headset, mixed reality, because there are, hardware is coming in that direction as well. So we'll be.
If I can, so yeah, that was like the last question that Michael Carter asked about augmented reality. And so right now, there's not a way to use AR yet, but definitely, and I guess sooner on the mobile, we can easily add the augmented reality functionality. That's definitely, as Emily said, on the pipeline. And then later on, with see-through and mixed reality headsets as well.
The spatial computing support at the end is more the headset version of AR. And we've been debating internally when we're doing AR on mobile. So it might be at the launch actually that we have it. But if you guys are on the beta, you'll probably get access first on whatever we try to do next. But we have an SDK for AR too that students have used on the plugin side as well, but it's not public, so it's coming. Any other questions on the roadmap that you have?
No,
cool.
Not really.
So just want to give you a quick overview of what the Zoe Marketplace is going to be. It's pretty straightforward. We'll have the ability for you to create sessions and host your own learning space, and then have learners connect from any device. And you'll be able to share the content that you're creating or the sessions across all platforms. And that's what's missing right now in our app, right? If you're working on the Quest or you're working on mobile, you don't have a way to really share what the content you're creating with the public, with the general public. You can share it kind of internally. You can send the files by emails and things like that, and it works really well. But the marketplace is going to be a way for you to also monetize the work that you're doing. So there's going to be probably a first version of the marketplace that doesn't have monetization, and then later down the line, monetization is going to be added to this. So if you're hosting virtual workshops in 3D or sessions, then you'll be able to actually charge for those. And the idea is that wherever you're creating from, whether it's from the plugin, whether in Unity, whether it's from the app or mobile, you'll be able to publish the content into the Zoe ecosystem and try and play and share the content as well. So that's a big endeavor for us to work on this, and we're excited to be working on that. The first step is going to be just a simple basic scene sharing of the content, but it's going to evolve over time. There's like different use cases on Zoe. There's probably more, but just broadly, we're excited to work with obviously academic creators. So educators, teachers in class, and students, primarily those who are interested in having the students building content. I think that's a really great use case. Then the second kind of slot is anyone who's a prosumer, not necessarily in the education sector, but who wants to create informal learning spaces or have their community engage in learning something in 3D. And then the last bit, which is more through the Unity plugin, is working on simulation and training programs and things that are a bit more advanced that you can do using Unity, basically. And streamlining that. So these are like the three main buckets. Honestly, any topic can be taught with Zoe. We've done everything from science to their social impact works great as well. I know nursing, psychology, like there's really a wide variety of things that you'll be able to do, and we'll work on with everyone to make this easy to do and greater to build, and adding new functions as well. As part of that marketplace, we're currently working on what we call Zoe Creator Challenges. So our mission with this is to support the design and the creation of immersive experiences that are raising awareness about social and environmental issues. So these Zoe challenges will be, we're working with partners to basically give out grants so that educators and teachers and students can build content and actually make money out of creating that content. So that's something we're working as part of the marketplace. I don't have any more details for now about those creator challenges, but we're really excited to be working on this with different, between the hardware partners and foundations to have that, and it'll be available on directly on the website. So take a look at our news when we're launching the first challenge. And the last video I'm going to show is from a student that created a really cool experience last summer with the help of his teacher, Kwaku Anning, who might be in the chat, who might not be, I don't know. Kwaku, if you're here, raise your hand. So he's been doing, he's just the best educator for VR. He's done some amazing work, and every summer they've been working with a group called Baya to get students in the Downey School District to create content and create experiences around environmental issues. So I'm going to show you this video so you can kind of get a concrete use case in your mind. And we're actually taking 15-year-old interns right now that are part of this group to build more demos and build content for us. So I'm excited about this too. So I'm going to finish this with the little video.
The climate crisis and climate action is something that affects all of us everywhere around the world. And even though we might not realize it, it has an impact on every single living thing on the planet Earth. And we feel like this is something that we need to fix now and that we can start fixing now. So we began by asking questions like, what causes greenhouse gases? And we realized it was fossil fuels. Why are people still using fossil fuels? Why haven't we switched to renewable energy yet? And from all these questioning and all the answers we received from these, we realized that our main problem we wanted to solve was how can we get people to start using less fossil fuels? How can we get the consumers to stop using fossil fuels?
We came up with many solutions, from having people buy electric cars to creating laws that force people and companies to recycle waste products. And from a variety of solutions, one that stood out to us the most was simply just taking public transportation. The reason for that is because it can be done easily and in an affordable way.
So going off of this idea of public transportation, we decided to make a game where the user has to choose between private and public transportation options. And this is to teach the user that their actions have consequences on the world around them.
You are given two options that you can go to work in. You can either go to work in your car, or you can go to work by taking the public train. In this case, the public train would be a better alternative because although it emits fossil fuels, it can carry more people than those people just taking their cars, which altogether would emit more fossil fuels, and that would be worse for the environment.
Now, we've reached the very end of the playthrough, and the user is presented with every single option they chose along the way. And they're given a little explanation as to why their options led to the outcome they see on the screen.
There you go. That's it. I think we are exactly on time. So that's a neat use case of a student who, two students who were working from home. I think they had about 2 hours per day for 5 days to build their experience. There's something they did, we don't even know how they did it. So they're pretty savvy in general in using the tool to achieve their goals. And if y'all are interested in working in short amount of time and getting students to build content, we have an instructional model. I don't have the link right here, but maybe I'll share it with you afterwards, or maybe Marie, I can find the link. Otherwise, if you do a free account on zoe.com, you'll find it in the resource. And the instructional model helps you craft a course where at the end of the course, the students actually have a final experience. And it's not only about how to use the tool, it's also about there's user experience posters, having them think about what the story is going to be, what the goal of the game is, what assets they need, what the user experience is going to be like. So all this stuff is in that instructional model, and it's a pretty good resource to start using Zoe. So I'm going to stop sharing, and we still have a few minutes for questions. So please fire away.
Yeah, so I replied to John Murray, and I hope that it was more about can you import from Zoe to Unity? So I think that,
Not yet, right?
not yet, exactly. There was also a question about which I answered just directly about hardware and OS of the mobile application. And well, something that you need to understand is that everything you create with the Zoe standalone will remain in Zoe. So to be seen, you have to view it inside Zoe. And it's just with the Unity plugin that you can export specifically for other platforms, but and standalone applications, let's say. But Zoe, the standalone, allows you to create only experiences that you will watch actually being inside Zoe itself.
All right, let me know if you have any more questions. Does the mobile app install on iPad? Yes, Michael, it does. And I hope you have an iPad that you can try it on. Works on all the tablets, all the phones. Due to a little bit of the performance that it requires, it's better to use it on like more recent phones, like iPhone 10 and up, but it works also on all the other ones. It's just maybe a little slower because of the 3D models in it, but yes, it does work on iPad. Actually, the best experience is on iPad because you get, a bigger screen, and it's nice to work. It's really nice to work on an iPad using Zoe.
Yeah, so John Marie is asking about any thoughts on plugins as part of the marketplace model for the additional in Zoe features provided by the community. So yeah, that could also be a whole part of the marketplace, as the SDK and maybe later on the Zoe app will allow this modularity to add actions, conditions, or any other features that can also become something that people want to share around and maybe monetize it as well.
So yeah, yes, I know, John, you're working on really cool things, so there you go. Yeah. But yes, and we want that as part of the platform to be driven by the community. And obviously, you have people that are more code savvy who can do things, and then you'll have those who are more interested in like the low code, very easy to use, type of work.
Does this
multiplayer soon?
Yeah, multiplayer is the next thing coming in. You can already create with the SDK multiplayer experiences. We haven't released that yet, but it's already there. And then you will be able to create all together within the same virtual reality space, the same virtual space as well. Yeah. Someone asked a question, not in the questions, but can you add sound to VR experience? So yeah, definitely.
There's sounds in the library now that are basic sounds.
Yeah, in the standalone. And something that we didn't show explicitly is that actually you can record your voice within the standalone application. So that's pretty funny. And you can record dialogues or whatever, and you can trigger them during the experience. Okay.
Anything else? Any final words for us? We're excited that you all came in for the webinar, and we're excited that we were able to show you the latest version. So everything that you've seen is available right now on the website. So you can actually try it out for free, download it, test it, give us feedback as well. Yeah, that's basically it for Zoe right now. And we're going to do probably another one of those once the full mobile version is out. We're also going to be announcing Sketchfab soon. So it's already available in the app, but there's going to be a little announcement around that. Sketchfab is very exciting because you can import your own stuff in there. So basically import to Sketchfab, whatever asset that you have, and then you can import them into the app. So that's great. We've had educators interested in using the phone to scan real world objects as well, and then put them in Sketchfab and then import them in. So that kind of opens up the possibilities of what you can do too. So we encourage you to try the Sketchfab implementation as well. That's in beta right now. And then probably the next webinar might be in Zoe. Hopefully that's the goal. So we'll invite you to a virtual multiplayer session in the app, and hopefully sooner than later. So keep a watch on that. And we're excited to see you all again very soon. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for all the wishes and all of the comments on Zoe.
Yeah, and feel free to, you know where we are. You can ping us on LinkedIn or, on the website. So see you all soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.